Brian Nagel, want to get your thoughts on what we just heard from Sarah, especially with gross margin improvement, the North American revenue basically in line, China revenue a little bit better than expected, and a beat on the bottom line and a miss on the top.
Yeah, look, I think it's a great rundown from Sarah. So, in the numbers that she ran through, as she was talking, I was reading the release as well. I mean, that's very much. I want to make sure I say this correctly. An in line, a fiscal Q1 that was in line to better than dampened expectations. Okay, and so what we're seeing there is, yes, sales are weak, but as expected. Well, I think China, very fluid situation. That's probably somewhat of a positive. And then, what we're seeing again, it's even at these lower levels of sales, Nike does have enough, so to say, levers in its business model to beat earnings pretty handily. So that's a positive. Now, the comment from the CFO, look, I think that's a positive. We've been hearing this from Nike, and that is what they're basically saying is, look, where we're touching product, where we're introducing new product, that product is selling well. It's just in the very early stages of happening. But I very much take that as an indication of what we should expect from Nike, over the next several quarters as they get more aggressive on this product innovation front.
So the fact that shares are now trading negative, they're down, looks like about 1.5% right now. I mean, any sort of sense on why we would be seeing that reversal? Is this because of the postponement of the Investor Day?
No, well, I mean, look, honestly, I think that the trading right now is largely noise, because I think the real key factor is going to be what they say about guidance, and they'll do that on the conference call. The Investor Day, that's on Wall Street. We've been watching this. I think it's been pretty well expected that they would postpone that. And frankly, that makes a ton of sense. The new CEO's coming in here in a couple of weeks. We got to give him time to get acclimated, even though he is historically from Nike. You want to give him time to get acclimated before they go present in some significant way to either analysts like myself or investors.
Brian, to what degree do investors risk overdoing it on the negative narrative around Nike? I think back a couple, 3 years to what was bubbling around Meta. Oh, they changed their name at the wrong moment. Their business model is broken. It was right around the time when the iOS ad changes were going through for them. And boy, did it bounce off of those lows that it hit at the peak of disillusionment. What are we looking at here for Nike? How much will it take in product changes and time, do you think, to achieve a turnaround here?
Well, look, I think that's a great question. Okay, and I'm recommending Nike. I know I'm early. Okay, but what I'm saying to our clients is, and this is a great response to your question, John. Look, let's not forget, this is Nike. Okay, Nike's one of the most dominant brands on the planet, maybe in history. Okay, they've made some mistakes. They've allowed other competitors to come in and take market share selectively. But this is Nike, and I very much believe that as Nike has recognized its shortcomings, recognized its mistakes, and now with new management coming in, new proven management, I think that this company could very much get back on the right track and change that narrative relatively quickly. So I think that's really one of the biggest risks from a market perspective is that investors are too quick to write off Nike. Nike's a broken business. I don't think that's the case. I think this is still a very strong brand, both in the United States and globally. And I think they just need to correct some of the mistakes that were made over the past, say, few years or so.
And I guess to that point, when you start talking about saturation of some of these brands within the brand, like Jordan's, I mean, Hill was part of Nike's leadership team when the company had to make a similar inventory reduction or correction, if you want to call it, back in 2017. So the fact that he has a track record, can we look to that as a historical example of how this could play out?
Absolutely. I think this is I think, we have not heard really, from an investment committee, as far as an investment committee, to my knowledge, we've not heard really anything from Elliott significantly, since he's taken this role. But I think it's a very, very good move on the part of the Nike board because you're bringing back a proven executive, that had a great deal of success at the company. And also from everything I hear was very much liked within the company because, again, there's also a culture issue here. Nike's a big culture company. It's had a great culture over time. I think bringing back an executive like this is going to help that culture.